This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
A Northside daycare is in need of repairs this morning. Now at 5 o'clock, what police say caused an SUV to slam into the side of the building.
Also on this Tuesday, the fight against violence continues in the Circle City. We're live this morning with why city leaders say Indiana's red flag law could be the solution.
And a Johnson County mom says students on her son's school bus were forced to sit on the floor. Working for you, we're taking her concerns straight to school leaders. But first, here at 5 o'clock, we want to welcome you in on this October 22nd. I'm Meredith Barrick.
I'm Rafael Sanchez. Lauren Casey's on vacation. The cold weather hopefully will take a vacation, but we'll see what happens. Let's check in now with meteorologist Todd Clausen. Fill us in.
You know, we've gotten rid of the rain.
Okay.
That's
good news, but that was a cold front that came through yesterday. And that means cooler temperatures in store for us here for the day today. So your morning checklist includes a jacket. You'll need that this morning with temperatures that are currently running in the 50s. And the issue today is not so much the temperature this morning, it's just the fact that we won't really warm a whole lot throughout the day today. So that's why you're going to need the jacket from start to finish. The sunglasses you'll need in your outdoor workout is good to go, although those sunglasses probably only for brief moments here and there, as ultimately the clouds are going to win out. 40s and 50s, as I mentioned this morning, 52 in Bloomington, 47 in Crawfordsville, 49 is the current temperature in Richmond. But the cold front has fully made its way through the area. You can see all the rain moving into now western Pennsylvania. But there is this spin here, this area of low pressure, and that's going to keep the breeze going throughout the day today. And since it's a northwesterly wind, it's going to prevent our temperatures from warming much at all. So the sky is going to look much like this, mostly cloudy throughout a good portion of the day today with just some peaks of sunshine at times. 53 degrees by the noon hour, and then high temperatures today only going up a couple more degrees into the mid to upper 50s.
Now time to check your traffic, and good morning to Battleground, Beech Grove, and Batesville as we take a live look outside our in-dot camera at I-465 at US 421. This is Michigan Road. As you can see, traffic is building this morning. There are no major problems to report on the interstate system, and we'll continue to monitor that right here on Good Morning Indiana.
New overnight, a daycare on the city's northeast side is in need of repairs after a car crashed into the building. Police were called to Footsteps in Paradise Child Care Ministry at 30th and Gale around 1 this morning. Officers say an SUV drove off the road and into the building, leaving a big hole in the side. The vehicle kept going and then rear-ended a minivan parked nearby. The driver of the SUV said someone pushed him off the road, causing him to crash. Now, thankfully, no one was hurt, but if your child does attend this daycare, please call ahead to see whether or not they will be having children attend today.
The time now is 5:03. The effort to combat violence in the Circle City continues this morning.
The Marion County prosecutor says one solution to gun violence is Indiana's red flag law. RTV6's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning. And Kelsey, what exactly is the red flag law?
Well, simply put, the red flag law it allows police officers to take guns from people who they think might harm themselves or others with or without a warrant. So the red flag law was brought up last night at the Community Justice Academy. Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears says his office gets help from the red flag law. And after some changes were made to the law this summer, Mears says more changes are needed because right now, if an officer takes away someone's gun, that person can go buy another one the next day online or at a gun show.
There needs to be more follow-up where we as prosecutors have the ability to make sure that that person does not have the ability to purchase firearms down the road.
Some lawmakers who opposed to changing the law say they don't want to infringe on people's rights. Mears is encouraging anyone who wants these loopholes to be fixed to reach out to your legislative representative. Coming up in the next half hour, hear from a teenager who was at that talk last night. Reporting live in Indianapolis, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. This morning, a battle continues over new technology in Carmel. The Common Council narrowly approved a resolution calling on the state legislature to study the effects of 5G cell towers. Some homeowners and advocates want more research done on 5G and how it might impact the health and safety of their families. The group CTIA, which represents the U.S. wireless communications industry, says current scientific evidence shows there's no health risk associated with 5G towers.
At the time now is 5:05. A Center Grove mom is turning to RTV6. You see, she's concerned that the school buses in her Johnson County district are so packed, it's forcing her son to sit on the floor. Now, this mom did not want to be identified. ride, but she says the number of students being packed onto her son's middle school bus is concerning to her. Her son is a 7th grader at Center Grove Middle School North. He's one of the first to get on and last to get off that bus. And on more than one occasion, his mom says he and another student have used the bus floor as their seat for the ride home. She says that she called the transportation department but did not feel like her concerns were being taken seriously.
I looked on the transportation website the night before I called them, and it said 3 kids to a seat, and aisleways are to be clear. Well, they're obviously not even abiding by their own website, you know, by putting children in the aisles on the floor.
After a call from RTV6, a district spokesperson responded saying that the director of transportation looked into the issue and randomly viewed video from the bus's onboard camera from both October the 8th as well as October the 9th. She says the bus was full on both days, but not over capacity. She also says no one was sitting on the floor. Indiana law does not limit how many passengers can ride a school bus, but does require everyone on board to be able to sit in a seat. Election Day is now exactly 2 weeks away as we continue our coverage of Democracy 2019.
On Monday night, the candidates for mayor of Indianapolis took to the debate stage. Democratic Mayor Joe Hogsett is facing Republican challenger Jim Merritt. The debate at Arsenal Tech High School focused on issues impacting African Americans. The moderator asked both candidates, does Indianapolis have a gentrification problem? And if so, what will they do about it?
The mantra of the Department of Metropolitan Development and the investments that we make, whether that be through federal dollars or local dollars, is development, not displacement. Any development that includes city funding must include affordable housing.
My program is that all development, all home housing development in Indianapolis will have a 10% affordable housing set aside.
The African American Coalition of Indianapolis sponsored the debate, and here is your reminder: municipal elections are Tuesday, November 5th.
A Fisher's contractor now facing new charges for allegedly stealing a homeowner's credit card and racking up hundreds of dollars in charges. An arrest warrant has now been issued for Christopher Salvo for theft. Court records show that Salvo took a homeowner's credit card while doing odd jobs and later used it to spend more than $250 at a Noblesville CVS. Hamilton County Sheriff's deputies say that surveillance video from the CVS appeared to be of Salvo. RTV6 has been unable to reach Salvo for comment on the story. We told you back in September that Salvo is facing home improvement fraud charges in a separate case.
RTV6 is getting answers for those wanting to thank the person putting up these white bikes across the state. You might have noticed them near memorials for people killed while cycling. They're called ghost bikes. One was placed just 6 days ago on the west side of Indianapolis on Plainfield Avenue. That's where 19-year-old Andrew Talbot was hit by a car while riding his bike. He spent 10 days in the hospital and eventually died from his injuries. His loved ones have been wondering who was behind the bike placed near his memorial. They appreciate it as a reminder for drivers to share the road with cyclists. RTV6 did some digging and found Sheldon and Martha Hall. They volunteer for Indiana's Ghost Bike Project.
We feel like that it's important for drivers to see that cyclists are being hit. We're concerned about the safety of cyclists, and so we're both retired, and we've just done it as a project to help support safety of cycling.
Sheldon and Martha say they've placed about a dozen bikes across the state despite not knowing any of the victims. The bikes are donated by local shops and painted. You can learn more about the Ghost Bike Project and how to get involved at theindychannel.com.
The Hiring Hoosiers, our commitment to connect you to jobs, resources, and training. And this morning, the Indiana Department of Correction has the Help Wanted sign for corrections officers. State officials are holding a job fair tonight at the Pendleton Corrections Facility Training Center. That job fair runs from 5 until 7. Officials will be offering on-spot interviews and job shadowing. Now, you must be 18 years old to apply, have a high school diploma, and a valid driver's license. The time now is 5:10. Todd Clausen standing by with hopefully a much drier forecast on this Tuesday. Good morning, Todd.
Raphael, good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. Definitely drier today. That is the good news. Yesterday, over an inch of rain. We had not seen more rain than that in one day since the middle of August. So it was certainly a wet one across the area. The front is fully through, and it's ushered in some cooler temperatures. So this morning, as you walk out the door right now, the skies are clear. So initially, when the sun comes up just after 8 o'clock here this morning, we'll have a good amount of sunshine and temperatures. That'll be sitting basically in the upper 40s. The problem is that the front's still close enough, and we still have this area of low pressure spinning away to our north, that the clouds are going to fill back in. So ultimately, today is going to be a mostly cloudy day for us, and a day that the temperatures are really just going to struggle to climb. We're in the upper 50s or upper 40s to right around 50 degrees right now. We're only going into the upper 50s in southern locations this afternoon, about 55 from Noblesville up towards Kokomo. So it's a cooler day, one that you need to have the jacket, but you do not need to have the umbrellas. We are not expecting any rainfall.
Protesters in Beirut calling for an end to corruption. After the break, the heartwarming moment when protesters realized a young boy was in that crowd.
Plus, new items are appearing on menus in restaurants across the country. Ahead this morning, why these foods are only being served up to those who are ordering out.
And good morning to Rushville, Richmond, and Rushville. We're taking a live look from our in-dot camera at I-65 at South and 30th Street. We're turning up the music. Well, hopefully we have a great day today. As you can see, traffic is light this morning, but all is A-OK. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on RTV6.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
Welcome back. Time now is 5:14, and we're taking a live look at I-465 at Arlington Avenue. You can see everything is moving up to speed at this hour. We'll keep you updated if that changes. Anti-government protesters in Beirut are demonstrating against corruption and austerity measures.
But when they found a small child in the middle of that protest, they started singing one of his favorite songs. Take a listen. Showing that music is international. It is simply global. The child's mother says his father saw the viral video before she had a chance to speak with him. She says when her son Robin grows up, he will know that those Lebanese men were fighting for him. He now laughs every time he sees that video.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg says his attempt to recommend someone for Pete Buttigieg's campaign should not be taken as an endorsement. Speaking to reporters, Zuckerberg acknowledged he had contacted the South Bend mayor's Democratic presidential campaign earlier this year. The Facebook CEO says a number of colleagues had asked him or his wife to pass along their resumes. Zuckerberg said he and Buttigieg met through mutual friends and had appeared publicly together on Facebook Live.
And the scenario of moving from mayor to presidential nominee is looking more possible now for Pete Buttigieg. A new poll shows Mayor Pete has surged within striking distance of former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Elizabeth Warren. The Suffolk University and the USA Today are behind this poll. The survey finds 13% of likely Democratic caucus goers in Iowa support Buttigieg in the White House race. And that's compared to 18% for Biden and 17% for Warren.
A quick-moving wildfire forced nearly 200 families out of their homes near Los Angeles. The fire started near the Pacific Palisades, an area known for some of the most expensive homes in Southern California. The fire burned dozens of acres of brush. Firefighters say the fire's location made it difficult to fight.
This is an extremely challenging fire for hand crews. If you look at the firefighters, they're essentially clawing their way up this hillside with rocks coming down on them.
Thankfully, no injuries were reported. Those families are now back in their homes this morning. Firefighters are still looking into what started the flames. Here at home, we have a quiet morning. And Todd, we had all that rainfall yesterday, and we won't see any more of that today, thankfully.
Yeah, it's all off toward the east, kind of a 1-2 punch. We had it for the morning commute, or just after the morning commute in many locations. And then the actual front came through during the evening drive last night with that last push of heavy rainfall. But again, that's all off to the east. That front is ushered ushered in a new air mass. The temperature sits at 50 degrees, so it's a cooler morning for us. And as of right now, the skies are clear all across the area. Temperatures within a couple degrees of each other anywhere you go. 49 in Lafayette, 47 in Martinsville, 52 is the current temperature in Bloomington. But you look off to the west and you do see some cooler temperatures. And overall, the next few days, with the exception of tomorrow, we're going to kind of trend below normal temperature-wise here all across central Indiana and much of the Midwest. So it's 46 in Des Moines, 38 in Sioux Falls. We'll have a few mornings where our temperatures in the coming days will be dipping down into the 30s. So clear skies right now. Saw the nice bright moon on my way into work here this morning. Here's all the rainfall that went through yesterday, and that's where the front is currently. And you notice this area of low pressure here to our north spinning away. So we have a counterclockwise flow around an area of low pressure. So our winds are still kind of southwesterly right now, but as this low starts to push off towards the east, they're going to become more northwesterly, and that's just really going to prevent our temperatures from warming much at all here throughout the day today. And those northwesterly winds are going to bring the clouds back into the equation throughout much of the day, especially the further north you are. The further south you are, a little better chance of seeing some sunshine off and on throughout the day today. So we'll call it partly sunny. I don't think it's completely overcast throughout the day today, but it's just not going to be the brightest day from start to finish. So this morning, we'll have a little bit of sunshine, temperatures climbing to the low 50s by 11 a.m. And then we really just don't move much at all throughout the rest of the day. 53 degrees will be your 2 p.m. temperature. And then as we work our way into the afternoon hours, about 55 to 57 degrees will be our highs this evening. We are looking at temperatures that'll be falling back down into the 40s as the skies start to clear. So once the sun sets, the skies start to clear. That sets us up for what's going to be the best day of the week tomorrow weather-wise. We're looking at sunshine from start to finish, starting in the 30s and 40s. By the noon hour, pushing into the mid-50s. Then high temperatures tomorrow will be climbing up into the low 60s. Enjoy tomorrow because some spotty rain chances do return to the forecast as we get into Thursday, Friday, and then again some rain chances on Sunday with a high temperature of 64 degrees.
From Todd's great weather outlook to your great road outlook, all is looking really fantastic this morning. A live look from our INDOT camera at I-69 at 106th Street. Up north, as you can see, traffic is building, but all is moving well. Now let's switch cameras to see what's happening. This is I-65 at Edgewood Avenue on the city's south side. All is going well. Good morning to all our friends in Shelbyville, Spencer, and Southport.
There are more concerns this morning about lung diseases associated with vaping in the U.S., but a study out of the U.K. suggests e-cigarettes can still help some people. New research published finds vaping helped up to 70,000 people give up cigarettes in England in 2017. Researchers examined data dating back to 2006 from the Smoking Toolkit study, monthly surveys of people ages 16 and older. Researchers know there are factors specific to the UK that might mean the study can't be applied elsewhere.
I need a bell to say, order up. Meredith, get me a bell. Order up. Except the latest restaurant trend does not involve brick and mortar stores. You see, several restaurant owners are starting to whip up their dishes that can only be ordered online. The spike in delivery app use like Grubhub and Uber Eats is giving way to virtual restaurants. Owners are making certain meals exclusive to online ordering to try to capitalize on the nearly $27 billion market. According to the U.S. New Product Development Group, that's the fastest growing source of restaurant sales the country has seen in years.
A college football player takes to the field for the very first time in years. After the break, his message for you this morning.
It's healthcare with heart.
So he's a college football player and a 4-time cancer survivor, taking most of his young career to undergoing chemo and 14 surgeries.
As David Muir reports, this weekend he took to the field for the very first time for the University of Minnesota.
Casey O'Brien from St. Paul, Minnesota, has always been a fighter, playing football since he was a boy. Then the unexpected. Diagnosed with bone cancer in high school in 2013. He would battle it with chemotherapy, surgery, a knee replacement. Then, on the football team at the University of Minnesota, the cancer would return 2 more times. He switched from quarterback to holder. And because he was fighting cancer, he was still waiting to get on that field. And over the weekend, Casey O'Brien, a sophomore now, for the first time, taking the field for Minnesota, holding the ball for that extra point.
Extra point good. That's what college football is all about.
Hugs from his team, and then Casey running over to his coach.
Look at this emotional hug with PJ Fleck. Casey O'Brien, a 4-time cancer survivor.
The coach wiping away tears. Casey running over to his mom and dad after the game. And this message from Casey for everyone watching.
It means the world to me. There's been so many ups and downs and nights in the hospital and surgeries and everything like that has gone into this moment that this is what I dreamed about, and tonight it got to come true. Don't give up. Don't give up, because you can make it happen.
Oh, what a great story to start off our Monday or our Tuesday with.
We've had so many good Good News Friday stories early in the week. I hope that we see some of these on Friday again, because they're just so inspiring and worth just saying, hey, that young man, wow, what an inspiration.
Yep, 2 yesterday, 1 today so far. Well, we still have another hour and a half to go.
Yeah.
So, all right. Outside right now, we're dealing with skies that are actually clear. That is the good news, and temperatures that are going to be in the 40s here throughout a good duration of your morning drive. However, once the sun comes up, the breeze is going to pick up, and the clouds are going to start to fill back in to an extent across the area. So with a bit of a northwesterly wind and partly cloudy skies, we'll see temperatures not do a whole lot throughout the day today, to be honest with you. We're probably only going to go up another couple degrees from where we are right now at 50 to 57 in Indy. Could get to 60 with some additional sunshine in southern locations. To the north, a little more in the way of cloud cover. As a result, a little cooler. Look for highs today only in the low to mid 50s up in Lafayette and Peru.
Todd, thank you. Police say speeding led to a deadly crash on the city's east side. Ahead on Good Morning Indiana, what they're doing to help keep you safe in the area.
Day at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 5:30 on Good Morning Indiana, business owners waking up to a hole in the side of a child care building after a car slammed into it early this morning. What the driver says caused that crash.
Also on this Tuesday, community leaders are working to prevent gun violence in our city, while they're teaching young people about a law already on the books right here in our state. Good morning, I'm Rafael Sanchez on this Tuesday, October the 22nd. Welcome to Good Morning Indiana.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. We want to get straight over to meteorologist Todd Klassen. Todd, we saw all that rainfall yesterday, and that has brought a cool down here for us.
Yeah, without a doubt, temperature is going to be running a lot cooler here throughout the day today. If you joined us yesterday morning, I was tracking the rain into central Indiana. And then if you joined Kevin Gregory last night, he was tracking the cold front that went through during the rush hour with another round of some pretty heavy rainfall. But here's where we sit right now with skies that are mainly clear across central Indiana. No rain whatsoever. The front is now off to our east. You can see it there. However, this is our issue throughout the day today. This area of low pressure is still close enough, and you can see the rotation with it, the counterclockwise flow. That is going to keep our winds out of the northwest, and it's also going to keep some cloud cover in parts of the area throughout the day today. So while we're clear right now, once the sun comes up with this cooler air still filtering in, that's a good ingredient to develop cloud cover across the area with the sun mixing in at times. 50 in Greencastle and Indy right now, 48 in Tipton, 53 is the current temperature in Muncie. So it's not the coldest morning for us here across the area. The problem is we're just not going to warm a whole lot throughout the day today. Temperatures will only climb into the mid to upper 50s across the area. Mostly cloudy skies, again, with a little bit of sunshine mixing in at times. It's not that solid overcast sky. The sky should brighten at times, especially the further south you get from Indianapolis. The time now is 5:32. Let's get an update on the roadways.
Todd, thank you so much. Good morning to our friends in Noblesville, Nashville, and Newcastle as we take a live look now at this camera at I-65 at Edgewood Avenue on the city's south side. Traffic is looking well this morning as we begin this Tuesday morning commute. We'll keep an eye on your morning commute throughout the day here on Good Morning Indiana.
New overnight, a daycare on the city's northeast side is in need of repairs after a car crashed into the building. Police were called to Footsteps in Paradise Child Care Ministry at 30th and Gale around 1 this morning. Officers say an SUV drove off the road and right into the building, leaving a big hole in the side. The vehicle kept going and then rear-ended a minivan parked nearby. The driver of the SUV said someone pushed him off the road, causing him to crash. Thankfully, no one was hurt. We are still waiting to hear whether or not this daycare will be open today.
We'll keep on top of that. A criminal investigation now underway this morning after local school administrators were overpaid by more than $500,000. million. A newly released audit shows that 3 Greenfield Central Community School Corporation administrators were overpaid more than $651,000 in health insurance benefits. The district notified the State Board of Accounts after the superintendent he became suspicious about an improper allocation of funds in August of last year. The 3 administrators were placed on administrative leave when those discrepancies were found. None are currently working for the school district. The State Board of Accounts is asking them to repay the amount that they were overpaid. The former administrators are also being asked to repay more than $33,000 in special investigation costs. You can read more about this case by going to the RTV6 app.
A disciplinary hearing over groping allegations against Attorney General Curtis Hill continues today. A disciplinary commission will determine if Hill faces any legal discipline over accusations he touched 4 women inappropriately. It allegedly happened at an Indianapolis bar during a party after the legislature adjourned last year. Indiana Representative Mara Candelaria Reardon and 3 other women testified Monday, describing how they felt shock, shame, and embarrassment. Reardon said she told a lobbyist soon after the incident that Hill, quote, was a creeper. Hill could be stripped of his law license, which is required to serve as the Attorney General. He denies the allegations against him.
A court hearing today could prevent future interviews in a bizarre case attracting international attention. Prosecutors in Tippecanoe County filed a motion Monday asking a judge to issue a gag order in the Christine and Michael Barnett case. The former couple is accused of adopting a child from Ukraine, legally changing her age to 22 years old, renting her an apartment, and then allegedly abandoning her in Lafayette. The Barnetts claim the girl is actually an adult pretending to be a child. They now face neglect charges. The time now is 5:35, and the effort to combat violence in the Circle City, it continues this morning.
The Marion County prosecutor says one solution to gun violence is Indiana's red flag law. RTV6's Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning. And Kelsey, what exactly is the red flag law?
Well, Meredith, simply put, the red flag law gives police officers that allows them to take someone's guns if they are harmed to themselves or others with or without a warrant. So the red flag law was brought up last night at the Community Justice Academy, where for the first time the Youth Fellows Program joined the conversation. Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears says his office gets help from the red flag law after some changes were made to the law this summer. But Mears says more changes are needed because right now, if an officer takes away someone's gun, that person can go buy another one the next day online or at a gun show. Amina Dalal says the red flag law is helpful, but she thinks the change has to come from more than just legislation.
I think the biggest thing is just that it's the little things that we do. It's living and being a loving person. It's being able to extend empathy and kindness and compassion to everyone in our everyday lives. And that's what I really think at the end of the day, beyond the legislation, beyond all the programming, that's really going to make a change.
Some lawmakers who oppose the red flag law say they don't want to infringe on people's rights. Now, Prosecutor Mears is encouraging people who want to fix these loopholes to reach out to their representative. Reporting live in Indianapolis, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Since I have 2 young kids, I worry about how fast people drive.
Working for you always here at RTV6, we are giving voice to people who are concerned about speeding drivers in Irvington. This comes after police say someone was driving too fast on Arlington Avenue just south of 10th Street yesterday morning when they hit another vehicle, killing the person inside. Neighbors say cars often go 20 to 30 miles per hour over the speed limit on Arlington. Katie Butler is afraid to let her kids play outside because of that very issue.
I'm not the only mom on the street. There's several families I know with preschool-age kids, and you don't ever see them playing out in the front yard.
Metro Police say officers working that neighborhood will be watching for speeding. And no matter where you live in the city, you can report speeding or traffic safety concerns online. You can find a link by going to the RTV6 app and clicking on this story.
A new baby box is now operational in Fortville. It's the latest of several boxes installed around Indiana. The box was unveiled at the fire department on Broadway Street yesterday. Baby boxes are a safe place where parents can surrender newborns under the state's safe haven law, no questions asked. The event included a translator as part of a new effort to include multiple languages on baby boxes, so there is no language barrier.
These babies are important to me, and if I have to change my course just a bit to make sure that I'm hitting every community in the state, then we're going to change course a little bit and make sure that our friends that don't speak English know that this is available in their community.
The installation of this baby box comes less than a week after a baby was found abandoned in Seymour, just a mile away from a baby box location. In that case, the child survived.
Just in time for the holiday season, FAO Shorts is bringing its signature style and, more importantly, its signature toys right here to Indianapolis. A grand opening celebration will be held later this morning at the new location inside Indianapolis International Airport. The airport authority says FAO Shorts is one of 10 new retailers, food and beverage shops open for business this month there at the airport.
If you haven't gotten your flu shot yet, the Marion County Health Department is hosting a vaccine clinic today. The latest low-cost flu shot clinic goes from 9 a.m. to noon at Southport United Methodist Church on East Southport Road. The vaccines cost $20 for people ages 2 and older. They are free for kids younger than 2. And if you're sending the kids out to the bus stop this morning, Todd Clausen is going to let you know if you need to bundle them up or not.
You know, it's not a bad morning, to be honest with you, at least temperature-wise. We've been a lot cooler than it is outside right now. We have a current temperature of 50 degrees in Indianapolis, and the skies are mainly clear. And we'll probably just see the temperature drop maybe 1 more degree, and that's just about it for the kids as they head off to school. As the kids come home from school, it's still dry. That is the good news, but skies will be mostly cloudy with a temperature that's right around 57 degrees. So just not a whole lot of warming throughout the day today. It's going to be pretty breezy as well, and that's because this is a pretty big storm system. The front has made its way through central Indiana, but we still have to deal with this area of low pressure pinwheeling some clouds in our directions, especially to the north of Indianapolis. I think your skies will be mainly overcast through at least the daylight hours, but look at our temperatures. Average high now is down to 63 degrees. We'll kind of be there tomorrow and Thursday, but then as we go into Friday and the weekend, our temperatures do dip below normal. More on the weekend forecast and beyond coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. President Trump is now demanding Republicans stand by him in the impeachment inquiry. Coming up, the disagreements developing within the GOP.
And the National Weather Service has confirmed 3 tornadoes touched down in Texas. Next, the damage left behind the severe storms. As we continue here on Good Morning Indiana.
And here is a live look at I-65 at Southport Road on the south side. As you can see, traffic moving along just fine. We'll be back in a few minutes.
With Blue.
A U.S. diplomat formerly stationed in the Ukraine is set to testify behind closed doors today in the impeachment inquiry. President Trump still says he has done nothing wrong and that Republicans should stand up for him and his administration. ABC's Karina Mitchell explains.
President Trump is demanding Republicans fall in line.
They have to get tougher and fight because the Democrats are trying to hurt the Republican Party for the election.
He lashed out, calling on his party to be more united, like his Democratic rivals.
I think they're lousy politicians. But 2 things they have. They're vicious, and they stick together. They don't have Mitt Romney in their midst.
Romney has said he's open to the idea of impeaching the president if the evidence is there.
Holding up funds to a foreign nation, particularly one that's under military threat, in order to fulfill a political purpose is a real problem.
During an interview with Fox News overnight, Trump condemned the investigation, calling it unfair, but admitted,
Everybody tells me it's going to be great for us as a Republican Party if they actually impeach me. I don't know if that's true or not.
As the president continues to condemn what he calls a phony investigation on Capitol Hill, testimony continues. Today, William Taylor, the top U.S. diplomat in Ukraine, will testify behind closed doors. He raised the alarm about the possibility Trump may have withheld aid for political gain. In a text message to the U.S. ambassador to the EU, Taylor wrote, quote, "I think it's crazy to withhold security assistance for help with a political campaign." Trump is shrugging it off.
They're interviewing ambassadors who I'd never heard of. I don't know who these people are.
House Democrats voted along party lines to block an attempt by Republicans to censure House Intelligence Chairman Adam Schiff over his handling of the impeachment inquiry. Karina Mitchell, ABC News, New York.
The time now is 5:45, and 4 drug companies have reached a last-minute settlement as an opioid trial was set to begin in Ohio. Amerisource, Bergen, Cardinal Health, and McKesson will pay a collective $215 million, and that's immediately. Teva Pharmaceutical owes $20 million, with $5 million of that to be paid before the end of the year. They were all supposed to begin a trial in Cleveland yesterday, but of course they settled. Walgreens and other pharmacies were not included in that settlement and will get a new trial date in 6 months. These cases were among the first among over 2,000 plaintiff communities to head to trial over the opioid crisis.
This morning, people living in North Texas are left searching through rubble after severe storms moved through the area Sunday night. The National Weather Service reports an EF3 tornado touched down in Dallas. The storm caused widespread damage, destroying cars, homes, and businesses. The NWS also confirmed 2 other tornadoes, one in Rowlett and another in Wills Point. No deaths have been reported, but at least 6 people were taken to the hospital because of injuries from those storms. And Todd, we saw some remnants of those storms yesterday, thankfully just in the form of rain. Are we going to see any more similar weather this week?
No rain in the forecast for the day today. There'll be some showers going forward in this forecast, but nothing like what they saw in Texas. And yeah, it was a big front yesterday that stretched all the way from Minnesota down to Texas. And obviously, the southern half of that cold front was a little bit stronger, and that's where they saw the severe weather. Today's issue is going to be a bit of a breeze. You notice the wind speeds here throughout the entire day from this morning all the way into the afternoon and evening hours, where they actually pick up a little bit, going to average between about 20 and 30 miles per hour. So it's a breezy day for us, and because of that wind, it's going to be tough for us to really warm the temperatures much throughout the course of the day today. So there's the wind right now out of the south-southwest at 15 miles per hour. The temperature is at 50 and all across the area right now. Temperatures are currently in the 40s and 50s. So everybody's within just 3 degrees of each other, with the exception of Muncie. You're a little bit warmer at 53, but 49 in Greenfield and Lafayette. 47 is the current temperature in Crawfordsville. So throughout the day today, overall, it's going to be a mostly cloudy day. With that said, there will be some sunshine mixing in at times, especially across southern portions of central Indiana. The further north you are, unfortunately, more in the way of clouds. So we're starting off clear. As the sun comes up, we'll build that cloud cover in. You notice the temperature trend, not much in the way of warming throughout the day today, about 56 degrees. Your temperature by the time you get to 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, that temperature is holding steady there in the mid-50s. So here is the reason why we're not really going to warm. The rain is off to our east. The cold front has made its way from where it was yesterday now right along that rainfall, but you notice this spin here. This is that area of low pressure, and we're still dealing with those winds that are coming out of the southwest right now, and that's just going to keep our temperatures from warming much at all. And as far as that cloud cover goes, notice how it fills in. Here we are heading into the afternoon hours. From Indianapolis to the north, more in the way of clouds. To the south, a little more in the way of sunshine throughout the day today. So it's really dependent on where you live and what you're going to see throughout the day today. And then once we get to the overnight hours, that's when the clouds are going to clear out, and that's going to set us up for a beautiful day tomorrow. This picture is from Ogle Lake down there in Brown County State Park, and it'll be a beautiful day to head down there tomorrow all through Brown County. Temperatures will be climbing up into the mid-60s with lots of sunshine. It is the best weather day we have in our extended forecast as we go into Thursday. Partly sunny skies, 62. Friday's a cooler day with the chance of showers once again. Saturday sunny but cool at 59 before more rain showers and to the forecast on Sunday.
Todd, thank you. We are taking a live look right now at I-69 north of I-465. You can see traffic starting to pick up as the morning commute continues on. No issues right now.
The time now is 5:49, and researchers believe a virus could be the cause of a mysterious polio-like disease that's affecting children. Now, the illness is known as AFM and can cause weakness and paralysis. The first cases were recorded back in 2012, and they have been around 600 cases since. Now, using a virus hunting tool called VirScan, researchers examined the spinal fluid of AFM patients. They found that 2 strains of the enterovirus in nearly 70% of AFM patients that were tested. The viruses are fairly common and can cause cold-like symptoms.
Actress Lori Loughlin's daughters are no longer enrolled at the University of Southern California after accusations of her involvement in the college admissions scandal. The USC Registrar's Office released a statement saying Olivia Jade and Isabella Giannulli are currently not enrolled. Loughlin and her husband Massimo Giannulli are accused of paying $500,000 to a fake charity to get their daughters into USC. They also falsely designated them as crew team recruits. Loughlin and her husband have been charged with conspiracy fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Both pleaded not guilty.
And next on Good Morning Indiana, decades later, a former roller skating champ is putting her skates back on. You got to see this.
Wow.
Have you seen this yet? After the break, how her old hobby is helping her recover from a stroke. The time now is 5:51. You're watching RTV6.
Speed up to 400 megabits per second, or even faster, up to 1 gig.
The logo for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games has been unveiled. The logo is composed of 3 symbols: a gold medal, a fame, and a Marianne, which is a symbol of France's revolution. This is also the first logo that will be used for both the Olympic and Paralympic Games. Now, the Paris Committee is trying to add some new elements to the Games, like adding surfing, skateboarding, and even breakdancing. The Olympic Committee Executive Board has provisionally accepted the additions. This will be the 3rd time that Paris has hosted the Olympic Games.
After 30 years, a former roller skating champ is back on her skates with the help of her physical therapists. 89-year-old Millie Lewis, known as Magnificent Millie, when she competed at the National Roller Skating Competition in 1985. She recently had a stroke in August, and her physical therapist at a care center in Washington made it their goal to help her skate again. Now, using a light gait device to hold her weight, Millie is able to do just that.
We feel very fortunate if we can even get a patient to be able to walk with a walker again. And then there's Millie.
She's still continuing therapy and hopes to skate completely on her own. Her story has now gone viral on Facebook with thousands of likes and shares from all over the world. Millie will celebrate her 90th birthday next Friday. Happy birthday, Millie.
Birthday. You know, that smile is worth $1 million. Anytime you can see that joy in people, it's like, that's all. It's all good. It's all good.
Very cool. All right, Todd, if people are heading out for a roller skate this morning, maybe what can they expect weather-wise?
You know, it's honestly not all that bad this morning. The pavement's obviously still wet in spots from all the rainfall last night, but where you don't have anything on Storm Team 6 radar currently, and that's the way it's going to stay throughout the day today. Temperatures, not the coldest morning we've seen so far this fall season, and we're hovering right around the 50-degree mark in most locations. The problem today, though, is we're just not going to warm much at all throughout the day today. So overall, it's a cooler day with our high temperature only going up 6 degrees from where we are right now. It's about 56 degrees. And it's also going to be pretty breezy out there. So that's going to make that 56 feel even a little bit cooler. So if you are going to be out and about throughout the day today, you're definitely going to want to have the jacket handy.
The area where an Uber driver and a former Colts player were killed. Now the widow on a mission. I'm Rafael Sanchez. That story next on RTV6.
And you may have seen decorated white bikes being put up across central Indiana. Ahead in the next half hour, the meaning behind the Ghost Bike Project.
And we're taking a live look outside. Good morning to all of our friends in Carmel, Anderson, and Franklin. It's going to be a beautiful day in central Indiana. More weather, news, and traffic next on Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6.